Welcome to the darkness.
Hey, we're back. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys, as soon as I hit the live button, as soon as I hit it, my antivirus screen popped up.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't see the screen. I couldn't see you guys, just Norton everywhere. I'm like, what's happening? Anyway,
Oh, no.
back. And I see we have someone new watching. Thank you so much, Justin. Justinian the Great. That's awesome.
Justinian.
Was he the guy who does like the music stuff online?
I'm not sure. That's right. He was on the show that one, but I'm not
That one
sure.
time, yeah. And asked
Yeah.
for a reading about his music stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Are you Justinian? Do you do music? Are you the same person we were talking to before? Anyway, it's April Fool's. And so I know we wanted to talk a little bit about the history of April Fool's Day. And I know that, McKenna, you looked into it.
A little bit, yeah. So as far as like the origin, let me find it. I've got it right here. So I only like did a couple like snippets of like the origin of April Fool's Day because it's like very like what's the word? Divided, disputed. You know, there's a lot of theories on like where it came from.
Right.
But there's a general consensus. So they say like the origins are like mysterious. There are a few widely accepted theories, but one of the most popular ones traces back to the 16th century. So in France in 1582, France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Under the new calendar, moved New Year's Day from late March / April 1st to January 1st. So New Year's used to be like end of March or on April 1st. And then when it got switched to the Gregorian calendar, it became January 1st. So people either didn't know, like who didn't know about the change or like didn't accept it, essentially were like mocked by people that did accept the new calendar and like made fun of by, like calendar elitists, essentially.
Oh, right.
So that's the like essentially like where April Fool's Day comes from in this sense. But I guess a lot of these people in like the 1500s still would celebrate New Year's Day like on April 1st. But it just kind of became like this division of, I'm right, my calendar is superior kind of stuff. So it's pretty funny. You have to imagine that anything where the entire day is about like pranking people is going to have like a silly origin or a fun origin. But it pretty much like escalated from there. It was just kind of like this little calendar dispute, and then by the 18th century it had turned into this like holiday where people would like play jokes on each other.
Yep.
So
my
that's
dad
essentially. Oh yeah, go ahead.
My dad was the greatest prankster of all times. And so you have to imagine this is a guy who was in World War II and the Korean War, and these guys saw a lot of stuff. So they lived hard too. You know what I mean? And so April 1st, he worked for this publishing guy who was a millionaire, and who was out of town. And so all of the guys at the airport got together and they filled this man's swimming pool with Jell-O. With Jell-O. Like pickup loads of, they spent days ripping open boxes to make Jell-O with this guy in this guy's pool. Yeah, he came back to it. Yeah. And then the other thing, when one of the guys went out to, he got married, and how dare he, because all of these guys were bachelors, and they lived in, my grandfather had this really old rambling 3-story Victorian home, and they called it Termite Towers. It was okay. And all of the single pilots, the guys lived, they just all rented a room in Termite Towers. Well, when one of them dared get married, when they were on their honeymoon, they went in and they tied everything to each other in the house with fishing line.
Oh.
Like lamps
No.
to other lamps to count everything. So when the guy opened the door, they hit the fishing line and everything started imploding in the house.
Oh no.
That's
Oh no.
and it was my whole life. These guys did it like, as I remember all of the jokes, to the point where I remember when the FBI came in, we were at one of their houses. This I thought it was a joke. I was like 6 years old, 7 years old, and I thought it was all a joke because these guys in these uniforms came in, and I thought it was funny. I was just laughing. It was really the FBI because one of them was stockpiling weapons, and they were trying to find them.
Oh no.
It was really the FBI. And then when we got home, my mom's like, no, that wasn't a joke. And it was, the guy they never found the weapons. They never found the weapons, but I knew where the weapons were, and thankfully I never said anything. Hey, Kim. Yeah, it was crates and crates and crates of Russian automatic weapons.
Whoa.
That they'd gotten in some kind of deal that they were doing. These are the kind of guys these were. They were like, yeah, hey, I gotta use the weapons. So they had cases of this stuff. Yeah.
Fucking
and so
pranked.
these guys would do anything. Do you know what the U-boat, the German U-boat submarine, like a smaller submarine, right?
Yeah.
Well, we lived in this house, and so we had a kind of a long, narrow lot, kind of like what I have now. My acreage is long and narrow. And then there was a vacant acreage next to us, and then there was a house, right? So there was this big plot of land next to us. Well, one day we came home, and there was one parked in the acreage next to us. And it was one of those guys. He rented the acreage, and he bought one of these things, and he had it hauled in.
Just
And
a
so we
U-boat.
had this submarine, this small submarine sitting next to us forever. And it kind of tilted and so we would scrape the barnacles off the bottom of it and take it to school and sell the barnacles for 10 cents a piece because the kids had never seen them and they didn't know what they were.
Mhm.
That was the level of craziness all of these people were up to at any given day. So April Fool's was a big, big event in our house.
Oh yeah.
And who could top who? My dad always
That's
took
awesome.
the cake.
Oh my gosh. You have to write a book. They're like,
Oh.
I mean, I've heard like some stories about your dad, and they're always amazing or outrageous or hilarious. Like, and that doesn't even like cover like the stuff that you experienced or like you and your mom like did and learned together. Like, you totally need to write a book. Like, I would read it over and over.
Well, they were absolutely crazy, and I loved every minute of it. My mom was just infuriated half the time because she was a cop. And so she would always have to try to keep the police. Dad was a cop for a while, too. In the middle of all of this stuff, he was a cop. And she would always have to try to keep him from being arrested because she's like, no, it's just a joke. Really, it's just a joke. Yeah. So anyway, they were both cops at the same precinct for a while.
Yep.
And then my dad's like, yeah, this isn't for me. And she goes, probably not. Probably not a good idea for you to be a cop because everything you do is illegal. It was all in good spirit, okay? But one April Fool's, he dressed in a general's uniform because we had a military Jeep. And he had a driver in a private's uniform drive him to, I want to say, yeah, it was an army base somewhere down in Southern California. They saluted him in. My dad was Air Force. He was never Army. Okay. But he had a general's uniform on. They saluted him through the gate. He drove in. They hooked a cannon up to the Jeep, a real cannon, and drove out and brought it home and put it in our front yard. My mom gets off duty at whatever time. She comes rolling into the driveway and she's like, what in the hell is a cannon doing in our front yard? That's the kind of guys these were. It was
Oh,
there for 3 or 4 days, and then they took it back. They saluted him. He drove it in. They unhooked it. They saluted him, and then they went away.
Oh my god.
that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
So April Fools. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a freaking cannon.
Did you hear about the Taco Bell April Fool's Day?
Uh-uh.
Okay. 1996, Taco Bell did this huge media campaign on April Fools saying that they bought the Liberty Bell to help the United States with their national debt, so that they spent millions on this Liberty Bell and they were renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell. And everybody bought into it, and they thought it was so cool, and they wanted to see the Liberty, but the Liberty Bell was not bought by Taco Bell. But I'm imagining that people like that probably knew my dad, because that was great. Or the
Yeah.
Burger King left-handed burgers.
Yes.
No.
I remember that one.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
made burgers specially for left-handed people, and they said they were flooded with orders. They're like, what the? So anyway, it's always been a
mean,
great day.
Even if like not everyone is like that gullible, it's fun when people play along.
It is. It is. Have you been? So I'm on Facebook today because I was homesick with this stuff, and I've been watching Facebook, and all of like the police departments putting out April Fool's stuff, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I love it so much.
Did you see the Marshall Public Library one?
No.
It is hilarious. They have a really big children's like things you can check out, things you can take home, and like learning packets for kids. And so my boys love it. But they posted today, we've got new packets in, and they did pictures and everything. One of them was a self-tattooing kit. Another one was a lock-picking kit. One was what was it? Juggling knives, I think. And it was just, there were so many of them, and they actually had
That's
pictures, and it was so funny. And like one of my friends, he worked at the library for a while, and he posted it on his page, and he was just laughing, and he was having fun. And I love the people there because they just have a big sense of humor.
I love that. I
And
wonder
you know
how many
what's
people believe it's serious, though.
Oh, so many people are really that dumb. But
I know, they're like, oh my God, you're teaching kids to juggle knives? What's wrong with you?
correct.
Yeah.
There was another one that I saw. You know how people kind of do tongue in cheek with like the LDS Church and whatnot. The LDS Church put out a press release today that they were, for the Puerto Rican temple or something, that they were going to have Bad Bunny and Kid Rock come and play a concert to celebrate the temple being done. And like the moment I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's not real. But like, I can't imagine how many people are like,
Yeah,
what?
the warring
What?
Super Bowl shows.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
But oh man, I was laughing. I was like, these are okay. You can laugh at yourself, and you can be like, all right, I'm the butt of my own joke. But yeah, it was
That
It's
was
important.
pretty good.
It's important to laugh at yourself.
yeah.
Hey, those people in the audience, don't please ask for a reading at any time in the show, and Emily will draw cards for you. And doesn't matter. Well, keep it PC. That's the only thing we ask. Keep it PC on our readings. I don't know. And then did you guys do any in the audience? Did you do any pranks today? I thought about it, but I was too exhausted from being sick, though, so I didn't. I wish I would have. But
Yeah, I wish.
McKenna, did you do any?
No,
No?
also tired from puppies. Having new puppies every night, like needing to go out and crying, and they need the snuggles. They deserve the snuggles, but it's irresponsible to let them sleep in my arms all night long. So just losing sleep.
Yeah, one of my memories came up on Facebook today, and it was all of my dogs for the last like 10 years, like all the puppies and dogs. Oh, Regina, what would you like a reading on? Give us a topic or just in general. Ask. Go ahead and ask. But yeah, so all of the dogs came up, and I always have bloodhounds. And Banshee, when bloodhound puppies are the cutest thing on the planet, with them
Yeah.
ears that are dragging the ground.
Oh,
And she's very talkative. And so I want another bloodhound so bad. Like I need another dog. But I just can't until I'm retired. I just can't.
I would kill to see a puppy picture of Banshee.
Oh,
She is
I
so
have videos.
send me.
Go on my
Yes.
Facebook, McKenna, because that doggy memory is there, and she's going woo 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 woo. Yeah.
oh,
I'll have to look it
So,
up later because I
Regina,
want to
okay,
watch it with sound.
oh yes. Regina, why don't you go ahead and do a general reading for her and
okay.
see what comes up, since she
All right.
didn't answer. And then
It's all
if
right.
you
She's
end up, Regina, with mainly in general, health and medical is what she said. Okay.
health and medical. Okay.
Okay. And don't be shy to ask for a reading. Please ask for a reading.
I do have some
Regina.
stories too to fill in here and there. I have you ever heard of the Fox sisters? I feel like you know a little bit about everything, but that's like the one like prank paranormal thing I could find.
The Fox sister? No.
Yeah, FOX, Fox.
No.
So after this reading, we'll talk about them, lovely ladies.
Okay.
Okay. So Regina, this one is your reading. I pulled 3 cards. We got 2 of the major arcana. They are actually sequential, so it's kind of a one thing. If one thing happens, the rest of it will kind of fall into place, and then like a final outcome. So this first one is rebirth, sometimes known as judgment. And so you see here, we've got a little baby in a bassinet, and he's on the river, but then there's a fence right there. And so this gives me, since you wanted to know about like medical, something is blocking your progression right now, and something's blocking your ability to really experience kind of the world around you right now. And that's that fence that's there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's something that really needs to be addressed before you can continue on down the path. Maybe you're waiting for results or something about the medical, or you're hoping, or something isn't being addressed with your doctors. Like that's what I'm getting. Like something is stopping you from getting on that path and getting back onto where you should be. But if you look at the top, if you can kind of see that, there's these people up there. So you've got people who are supporting you, and you may have other people who are in your corner that might be able to help. So maybe this will be a chance for you to maybe reinvigorate some of those connections that may have been lost over the years, because somebody or there's some connection that's not being made, that's stopping you from progressing with this medical issue. But if this were to be addressed and you can get back onto your path, um things will continue to go easier, I guess. So I had to cover the card. So this one
Some of
is
the
the
cards-
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the cards are a little nicky. So the world is the end of the major arcana. So it feels like if this medical issue is addressed and the answer is found, or that connection is made, that the world comes to kind of help bring it together, and it'll also bring about some extra energy and some creative energy in there. It'll bring along some extra, so like in the world, the card is like, so the very end, so it means the end of a cycle. So it'll help, if that can get addressed, it'll help you get onto a new cycle, because it feels like everything's at a stopping point right now, and it's not being, because it's not being dealt with, and it's not being either taken seriously by your doctors, or there's that connection that's being misplaced there, that needs to be addressed before moving onward. And so whatever's popping into your head right now is either the person you need to talk to, or the the connection that needs to be made, because you have an idea. I can tell that you have an idea, but the doctors aren't listening, or people aren't really listening to you. So you need to find that voice and find that strength, whether by having somebody else help advocate for you, but you need to have that extra strength to help you push this forward. And so the outcome is, we've got another picture. So this one is the Nine of Shields. So things will come to fruition. And with shields are all about abundance and growth and seeing things um, come, and seeing the fruits of your labors. So by dealing with all this, it will help you see those fruits of your labors, and that little voice that's the naysayer and the one who's telling you to stay frustrated and to give up because they're not going to find it. That little voice will be pushed to the side. So if you look at the background, you can see he's really small, and he's really he's not really in focus anymore. So that little voice will be pushed to the side if this part can actually be dealt with. So it's not a bad reading, but it's basically saying there's something that really needs to be hit head on for this thing to continue. And so I'm sorry I don't have anything more positive, but that's what came out.
So, Regina, I hope that helps. It's medical stuff can be tough, and sometimes, and particularly women, are not listened to by the by doctors. And so, I hate to always like the women aren't listened to, but doctors tend to not listen to women, and I have had to fight tooth and nail with the VA. So I totally get it. So stick up for yourself. Stick up for yourself. Okay, Pat would like a reading on relationships with coworkers.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. So relationship with coworker. And then Pat?
Yeah. Now Pat was on last week, I believe you gave her a reading.
Okay.
Regina said they really don't, and thank you. Yeah, meaning they don't listen to us. No, they don't. For years and years and years, my mother had a medical issue going on, and the doctors that she would go to said, just suck it up. She was having terrible cramps and everything else. Just suck it up. Just suck it up. She had endometriosis.
Oh,
yes. And her uterus ruptured when I was 12 years old. We were out in the middle of nowhere, Bay Lake Tahoe. And thankfully I knew how to drive, and I drove us into town. So men doctors don't listen to women.
No, they don't.
So yeah.
Okay, Pat, I've got your reading. Sometimes the readings kind of hit you right on the head. So just fair warning, this is very things need to be addressed. So I've got 2 cauldrons, and then I have 1 of wands. So cauldrons, just kind of a precursor. Cauldrons are all dealing with emotions, and I can tell that there's a lot of emotions that are very at the forefront here. And but there's also emotions that are not being addressed as well. So for this first one is the 4 of cauldrons. If you can see here. So you see he's just sitting there. He's got his arms crossed. For someone who, body language is a big thing. If someone has their arms crossed, they're very closed off. They don't want to listen. They don't want to really deal with things. So with the 4 of cauldrons, someone is not, I can't tell if it's either you or someone in your coworkers. They're not addressing the things that are right in front of them, and they aren't addressing the opportunities that are there as well. So you see in the background, there's a hand that's giving an opportunity of an overflowing cup, if you will. And so because they're focusing so much on the negatives and the emptiness and basically not being willing to change, that it's that headbutting is there, and it really is there. And so either they need to address it, or this might actually mean that you need to find a way around it, or find some way to turn your back on these things. because, excuse me, I've got hiccups going. The next card, I got the Eight of Cauldrons. Let's see if you can see that.
Yeah.
So he's turned his back to all these full cauldrons, and he's moving up this really dark staircase. And there's some really kind of there's people up here. You can't really see it because it's kind of shrouded, but there's people up there. There's a really long staircase. So this gives the idea that it might be time for you to turn your back on it, turn your back on these headbutting arguments, and find either a new path or find a new way to alter your trajectory. With the Eight of Cauldrons, when it comes to like either a big path or a big like staircase or things like that, it just means that the weight that you're carrying, it's not done yet. So there's still some things that can be done. But if you can't get away from that, it could also mean that you need to find a way to gain that emotional stability back. Maybe moving to a different office, maybe moving to a place where you don't have to deal with this person anymore. Maybe even asking for a transfer, something that'll maybe keep you in your job where you don't have to lose your job. But it's also I know how hard the job market is. It's tough, and sometimes you have to deal with it and deal with how things are, unfortunately. But one thing I can also tell you is that you are taking on too much of this argument by the Ten of Wands. So Wands is one of those cards where
Yeah.
you see him, he's weighted down, he's really just at kind of at the end of his rope. He's been picking up everything. Maybe it's time to get rid of some of those stressors, get rid of some of those things that you're taking on. Are you joining in on these headbutting arguments? Are you joining in part of it, or are you taking on all of their work when they're doing the arguments? It's time to kind of reevaluate and see, are you taking on more than you need to, and can you delegate? Can you get rid of some of that weight that's driving you down? Because you will continue on your path and you are moving towards greater things, but it's these emotional charged situations with your coworkers and you taking on so much that it's really dimming that light, that fire within you.
And
So,
man, it happens, Pat.
yeah,
It happens to all of us. We
totally.
end up taking on too much. And
Yeah.
I'm feeling that right now. And we do it. And yeah, so I'm still learning to try to figure out how to not let it affect me as badly as it has been. But it's been brutal the last month.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so just on a kind of side note, since we were talking about the April Fool's Day, since it's the 1st of April and all that, and with the Fool is the very beginning of the tarot, and I kind of wanted to tie it into today. So if you see here, we got the Fool. He is the 0 in the Major Arcana deck. He is, if you've ever heard the term tabula rasa, basically he's a blank slate. He's got all that frenzied energy, but he just wants to go and get going and have all this fun and have all this kind of just do all the things that he wants to without thinking about the consequences. And so that's kind of how us as the Fool or All Fools Day should be. We should be playing, having the fun and having the jokes. But when it comes to as long as we're playing jokes that aren't harming other people or harming things in general, I think we can continue to be the Fool, because in tarot we are the Fool. We are the one who starts out at a blank slate, and the people that we meet, the people that we learn from, is what kind of gets us through our cycles and different things. What's kind of cool about this card is if you see the mountains in the background,
Yeah.
in tarot, when you see mountains or things like that and how they are associated within the card, it's all about goals. So goals are really goals feel really close at hand, you can easily reach out and get them, and you can do all the things needed. But you also got to learn to watch where your step is. So you see he's on the mountain, he's about to step over the edge, and he has nothing there. But there's like animals up here, there's plants that are growing. So there are things that will be there to help us as long as we take a chance and look to the things that are supporting us. So that's my little spiel.
Oh, it's really cool. That is really cool.
I
Yeah,
love.
you have something, McKenna.
Oh well, I was gonna say I love how in depth and specific Emily gets in her readings. Like she gives like lots of like scenarios and like details, and she really shows like the imagery on the cards that like stands out and like correlates with the questions that someone's asking. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really really cool. I think it's a unique experience, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're on the show.
That's the thing with me with art. Like the whole point of like the Rider Waite tarot, it was art of the human condition. And so we look, our brain at its basic, we look for symbols in the stuff around us. We look for connections. We look for things that we look for patterns. And tarot is basically just that. It's patterns that our brain is making that connection to, and we're putting it out in front of us in like a new way. And so basically it's just a tool, and I love it, and I'm learning more about it in one of my classes, but I love tarot. It's fun.
What you're saying is we love your brain.
Very, very cool and very unique way to read. I love it a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
It is. It's awesome. Okay, so I'll dip into my next story here. So like I kind of like April Fool's Day is a whole thing of its own. You know, it's about pranks. So I initially was like, oh, I'm gonna try and find like some paranormal ties, or some sort of cryptid tie to like April Fool's Day, which, you know, there's people that like play pranks like there's a ghost in the house, like, and stuff like that. And I found like one story like that, only one. And then I found my next search was April Fool's pranks gone horribly wrong. So we'll start with
Oh,
the
no.
paranormal. It's
Okay.
not horribly as in gory. It's just horrible as in funny. I did not mean for this
Okay.
to get out of hand. Kind of horrible.
Okay.
I'm not going dark here. It's a happy holiday. But we'll talk about the Fox sisters first. Okay. So this started in March of 1848. So there was two young sisters in Hinesville, New York. You
I know
know,
who they are.
you
Yep.
you know the
I know
story.
who they are.
Okay.
As
I was
soon
like,
as you
I'm gonna
said that.
start talking
Go
about
ahead.
it, and you're gonna. Yep.
Yes.
So they came up with this essentially prank to mess with their mother. So the girls were named Maggie Fox, and her younger sister was named Kate. So they had convinced their mom that there was a spirit communicating with them in their house, by making like rapping sounds, like clacking, clicking sounds on the walls, the furniture. And like the mom would like ask questions like this apparition, and like how many children did she have, and like the clicking sound would be like number of children. So they had convinced their mother that there was an apparition in their home, and also there were like accounts from like neighbors and stuff that had like heard the sounds. Hi Lily, we see you. But the neighbors heard these sounds. Like people who were not in on the joke were convinced that there was an apparition in the house. But essentially, Maggie and Kate made these noises by like cracking like their knuckles and their toes and their ankles, and like making like that cartilage like cracking sound. Which, you know, they came out later and said like that's like what happened. I guess they had roped like an older sister into the prank as well. But what's crazy is that the childhood prank had like spun out of control and like had adapted this whole persona of like the paranormal, that the sisters as adults had become like famous mediums, and they had like public seances. They they really essentially created like the spiritualism craze. So they really brought it like to the forefront of like society, people that wanted to communicate with with ghosts, with spirits, and like connect to the other side. So it started off as a prank, but it really kind of became something really cool that a lot of people still connect with today.
They were clever. You have to give it to those girls. They were clever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they had a lot of people. They had a lot of people fooled. So
Yeah.
good for them. No, that was pretty. And it was innocent. It wasn't out to hurt anybody. They were just having fun. So unlike the Salem witch trials, whole other thing. Whole other thing.
Not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, not fun.
I did
Okay.
watch Monty Python the other day, though, so that was kind of the only fun. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Uh-huh.
A witch, a
A
witch.
witch. A witch. Yeah. Okay, so here's another reading for you, Em, and this is a reading about career, school, future.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. All right. For Lily?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Monty Python. It's yeah, I love Monty Python, and it's so funny to me the people who don't get hit that humor. Like my stepmother would watch it, and she's like, "What's so funny?" And my dad and I would be crying. We'd be crying with laughter.
Yeah.
You know? It was like, yeah.
It
The
was so
coconuts
clever.
with the horses.
Yes. And the whole, like, the people in the castle are like, where'd you get coconuts? Like,
Yeah, right.
That's a tropical fruit. A swallow. Yeah.
The swallow. That's it.
Oh, yeah. You can tell it's fresh on the brain. Like, I just watched it a couple days ago and, like, died. Oh, my gosh.
So
Just
good.
but a
So
scratch.
good.
It's a flesh wound.
Just a scratch. Flesh wound, really. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready. All right. So Lily, I've got I did 4 cards for you. I can definitely tell there's 2 paths in front of you. Can't really tell where, but it's more kind of education is kind of pushing through. So let me start at the beginning. So the first card I drew was the Magician. So the Magician is the number 1 card in the tarot deck. It comes after the Fool. The Magician is the one who teaches us about all the kind of like the earthly skills we have, the things that are tangible, the things that we know. So whether you're really good at learning things through like reading, writing, things like that, things that you can learn and kind of put into your brain. And so there's a lot of creative energy with him. So you see these 3 lights at the top. Those are the Awen. They come from Celtic mythology. They basically are kind of like the fates or muses. They help manifest those skills and that energy that we have and the thoughts that we really want to come out. They help manifest it to like the nth degree. They really push it out there. And within this tarot card, you see we've got roses on the bottom and they're red. So there's a lot of passion here. So whatever you are going after, you definitely have a lot of passion building up. And you see here, you've got all these skills. We've got the wand, we've got the sword, we've got pentacles, and we've got like learning. So you see how his arms are kind of put up there. It's finding the connection between our mind, but also our kind of physical side as well. So you definitely have the skills to go after what you want. So don't let anybody tell you not to go after what you want, because you have the ability to actually achieve what you want. However, we've got the 2 of Swords here. So swords are symbolic of air, and it's all about like the thoughts that we have. So you've really been warring over these 2 paths, whether it be with education or with going to school, maybe even going out into the job front right off the bat, maybe having a year of jobs, that kind of thing. but it's really been on your mind. And what the Two of Swords is basically saying is you need to make a choice and you need to make it soon, or both of those choices will not be there anymore. Because like if you see the coloring here, it's very gray and very kind of blah. And so with the gray, it means that things are kind of like shrouded and things will continue to get dark or things will continue to kind of like disappear in a way. But you also see, look here, she's got her eyes covered. So um may that makes me feel like there is something that you're not seeing completely, or whether your path hasn't been kind of planned out. So maybe with this, the two questions that you have, the two paths that you want to do, maybe it's time for you to really thought out where you want to go, to like pros and cons. Because I find when I have something that's bothering me, or like two choices that I want to make, I got to find the pros and cons of both. That way I can make the decision better. Or even asking someone who you value their insight, someone who has that thought process, bouncing it off of them. Sometimes that helps if we can put it into words and talk to them. It will help kind of cement our viewpoint. So with that Two of Swords, definitely you've got those choices in front of you, but it's time to really cement it in where you want to go, what you want to do. Um, so there's two kind of possibilities up there. We've got the King of Wands and then we've got Ace of Cauldrons. So these I kind of feel like are more kind of outcomes of what can come. With the King of Wands, the King Wands are more of like fire, and see it more like passion and with the things that drive us. So your passions are there, but they're listening to someone who's maybe in that field might help you cement whether, hey, maybe this is the field for me, maybe it's not. So something that you're passionate about, something that you feel like you can really accomplish, maybe it's time to talk to someone who actually is in that field, or someone that you've been meaning to talk to but you've kind of forgotten about it. Maybe it's time to kind of strike up that conversation. But there's also the emotional side here too. We've got the Ace of Cauldrons, and aces are always the beginning of new adventures or new cycles. So with the Ace of Cauldrons, it feels like everything is possible, but maybe this new endeavor that you want to do is more on like kind of the emotional side, maybe dealing with more like you were going into like a medical field, for example. That would be a more emotionally charged side instead of a kind of like a passion side where it's like the king, he is the master of his world or his rule. And so it's someone who kind of puts their emotions to the side. This one is the emotions are at the forefront. So kind of figure out where you feel like you have more going for you to make that decision. But I see that there still needs to be a little more plotting out before um, that future can kind of come your way, if that makes any sense.
Cool. I'm taking notes because I'm learning the cards as you present them, because you present them in a way that I can understand them fully. So I hope, Lily, that helps you. Interesting reading. Yeah,
Oh, that was
she says,
great.
I've been stuck trying to decide what I want to do with my life. I had a plan and it fell through, and I'm afraid of making rash decisions and wasting time. Thanks so much. So
Well,
there you
Lil,
go.
Lil, you have all the time in the world.
yes.
Just saying, you know.
Mhm.
I've known Lily since she was a little girl, and
Aw.
she is an
Mm.
incredible artist. She's an amazing artist, and she's brilliant. Um, but you have all the time in the world. I'm 31 and I'm just now starting my prereqs for nursing school. Like, you have time. You don't have to be on anyone's schedule. You're an amazing woman. Okay, just you got this.
Hey, Lilia, just on a side note, if you want to maybe put some of your art into the magazine that I'm an editor for.
Hey,
We would love to see what art you can do and things, because we're always looking for people to add to it. So if you want to text me later, I'd be happy to give you my work email, and you can send some art along, and we can probably get you in during the summer.
that's amazing. So Emily's
I'd
phone
love
number
it.
is on the screen, and she's available for readings, full readings. The So you guys can get a hold of Emily, and you can work out, whatever she charges. I don't get involved with that, but that's on you guys to discuss. But Lily, that's a great idea. So text Emily, write down her phone number, and maybe that's a way to get started in publicizing some of your stuff. So cool. And the magazine again is Today's Witch. Is that right?
Yes.
Today's
Today's
Witch.
Witch. It's a monthly magazine that we have PDF options. We also do it in print, and it's
Dot
available to buy on Amazon, but also todayswitch.net is our
net. Mhm.
website, and you can see some of our previous things. We just not launched. We just posted our April
Sweet.
magazine, so that's out as well.
Yep.
So
You
there's a
can
lot.
buy a subscription on Amazon directly from the website. You can get past editions digitally. You can pay for those. If you don't want the full subscription, you can just buy it one magazine at a time, 1 month at a time. It's really phenomenal. We presented it last week, and it's just jam-packed. It's jam-packed with stuff. So if you're at all interested in it, they're always soliciting for articles and, like Emily said, art. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Really, really cool. Okay, so if there's any more readings out there, let us know. We have a little more time for the show, and I think McKenna's got some stuff to read.
Got some stories.
Tell us more.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have like one long one and a few like little ones. So we'll see what we can get through. So we'll start with the long one. So this was a Reddit post, and the person asked, "What is your best April Fool's prank that went horribly wrong?" So this person was in 8th grade, and this, like, they asked the question, but they gave their own answer as well. So they were in 8th grade. They decided to pull their first ever April Fool's prank, and it was very simple idea. They were gonna get like the little blood capsules that people get for the fake blood. You bite it and like it's a powder and it comes out of your mouth. It's gross, but he and his friend got like these blood capsules, and the idea is that in their first class of the day, they would create like this fake fight scenario, like where they were arguing, and the kid who's writing the story would get like fake punched in the mouth, and then he would like be bleeding, and the teacher would freak out and the class would freak out. That's the idea. It came to the actual day, so they were pretty excited, a little nervous, like you're trying to pull one over on a bunch of people. So they started like kind of arguing and bickering back and forth, just messing with each other. And so it kind of got to the point where like he stood up and he's like kind of cussing at his friend who's like in on the joke. And like they were calling each other names. The friend's like, okay, get up then, like, bring it. And so to make it more dramatic, instead of just using like a few or like 1 or 2 blood capsules, he took the whole pack of them and put them in his mouth beforehand.
Oh no.
So he had like a mouthful of these capsules. And he says he thinks he does a good job of hiding it, which cool. But he wasn't able to like talk or open his mouth because his like cheeks are like packed full of these
like
caps.
a hamster.
Yeah, exactly. And like he's supposed to be having this fake argument with his friend, but like they get up, like they both got up, they went to the middle of the room. They're like, he like pushed his friend, like it trying to like look tough without like opening his mouth or saying anything. But when he pushed him a little bit too hard, and he fell on the floor. The friend fell on his butt, and like the whole class was like laughing at the other guy, and like the other kid that got pushed was like embarrassed because like that wasn't part of the plan, you know, it's supposed to be a little shove and like a fake punch, but now he's like humiliated, and so everyone was laughing except for the teacher, and like the teacher, I guess, was like a hard lady, like she was tough and like no sense of humor. So she was like freaking out because like these students are like pushing each other and like it's like becoming physically violent, and like gets in between the two of them. The friend got up off the ground. He's actually pissed off now, and in front of the whole class actually like swung and punched the other kid, the writer, in the face, punched him in the face, and the teacher's in between the two right there. And so this kid gets punched in the face with his mouth full of like these blood capsules, and fake blood like spurts all over the teacher. And like she's wearing like this checkered dress, and like it hits her like right in the crotch area. Which, ladies, we've all been there, unfortunately. But essentially all of this ends up on the teacher. He said he looked up at her and like just like kind of gave her like the guilty smile, you know, because like he didn't expect this. No one expected this to happen.
Nobody.
So I know. Poor gal. I know. So they were sent to the principal's office. They were they were suspended for a week for like some sort of like vandalism. They called it, I'm not sure. They couldn't call it like assault because they were both in on it, you know. But the teacher, I guess, like they had to leave the school, but they heard later on that the teacher had to like walk around school and be in school all day with like this red blood stain like on her crotch, and like she was getting like made fun of and teased by like, other
of course,
people,
because kids are vicious, right?
Oh yeah, kids are brutal. But when they came back after their suspension, they had a new English teacher that was even more of like a hard ass than the other one, and like they asked like, hey, where's Miss So-and-so? And the new teacher said that she had to take personal time, but that personal time lasted indefinitely. I know. So that's definitely
not cool at all. She might have went to a different school or something. That's horrible. And you know, kids are cruel.
Kids are cruel.
Well, like junior high, especially, I feel like, because like, you know, you go through your elementary, you know, you're a child, and then you're like in your preteens, and they just put the preteens in like this little 7th, 8th grade box. You know, sometimes it's 7th, 8th, 9th. Sometimes it's, you know, it's whatever, depending on state, county, whatever. But this is like the most horrible time to deal with children. Where they're like getting all the hormones and they're trying to figure out all the social crap, and they're super awkward, and it's just, and they're all annoying, all of them.
Oh, that's just terrible.
I know. I feel for the teacher.
You know, I don't know. So my best friend Susie, rest in peace. She I don't know that we actually did pranks, but we did a lot of stuff that got us into a ton of trouble. And I think I told you about some of it, McKenna, but to the point where they were threatening not to let us graduate 8th grade because we went K through 8. Mm-hmm. And we were in that school. We were horrible. And my mom said, you want him for another year? You can have him. And the principal went, oh, God. Yeah, no. Let him go. Because together we were hell on wheels. Mm-hmm. Independent of each other, we were actually pretty good kids. But what he didn't think of, I did, and vice versa. And we were always in trouble every single day.
Yeah,
it was terrible. Our poor teachers, I don't know how they didn't kill us. So I'm just saying to all of you, Miss Paiva, Mr. Jones, Mr. Lucas, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. Because once you become an adult, you're like, oh God, we were horrible.
Right.
we would ride our horses to the school after it rained and gallop them on the track so that when it dried, there was all these divots and we didn't have to run the next day. And they knew it was us, but they couldn't. It was way before security
Oh,
cameras.
no.
I'm that old, guys. So, and they're like, who keeps doing that? We were back there, because, yeah, they'd have to go out and re-smooth the track. And so for a couple of days, we didn't have to run. We were so bad. Oh, it was so bad.
But it's a good memory.
It was stuff like that. It wasn't to hurt someone. We never hurt. You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
were a few fights, I have to say, but there weren't. It was mostly stupid stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
So I hear puppies.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I
Yep.
hear puppies. You better go get them. You
I'll
need
be
to bring
back.
them and put them on camera real quick.
All right, I'm gonna take them outside real quick, and then I will do puppy cam.
Okay. Yes. So McKenna got puppies a few days ago. But anyway, and Lily said that would be awesome. I'm a makeup artist, so I'll message you.
Ooh, totally.
So-
That's awesome.
Totally. Yeah, that's very, very cool. I don't know if you can see the screen. I don't know if you're on your phone, Em.
I'm on my phone and I can rarely
Barely.
see the screen.
Barely see the messages. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm reading them to you. So,
Thank you.
yeah. If there's any last minute readings, go ahead and pop them in the chat. This has been a lot of fun, and we're all Celeste will be back on the show at some point. She's just dealing with personal stuff, and so she's taking a break for a little while, just to let you know. But we're still working out. I've been talked to him a little bit about it tonight. For those of you who are local, we're still working out doing a local tarot night, like a night of tarot with him, and possibly another reader. We'll have to look into that. So if you're local, we will advertise that. We'll have it on YouTube and Facebook and Rumble. We'll have posts made if we do that. And I'm still working on, it won't be this summer. It'll be next summer. I will be doing we have babies. There's babies. Okay, what are their names?
So the brown one, this is a little boy, and his name is Miles. And then this is Shelby, a little girl. So if you like cars, Carol Shelby and Ken Miles.
I love it. That is so cool.
Oh, they're ridiculous. They're so cute. Oh, yeah.
So I'm that old that one of my friends was Carol Shelby's head mechanic. Believe it or not.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So he had lots of really, really exotic cars. Really nice souped up cars. Yeah, he worked for Shelby. If you guys don't know, but Carol Shelby in the racing industry was quite the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Regina, they are so cute.
Puppies for views.
And I don't have anything nearly as cute as puppies. I have an ancient cat who has no teeth now. Her name is Boo Boo because she has 7 toes on each foot.
Oh no!
We love
Boo Boo. We love Boo Boo, but she has no teeth now, and she's quite old. They said she wouldn't live overnight, and then they told her she wouldn't live a week, then she wouldn't live a month, and she wouldn't make a year, and she's 14.
Wow.
So, yes,
so
she had a lot of challenges in her life that the vet said she wouldn't make it. So we need to learn from our animals. They're very resilient and they live by the day.
True that.
They don't.
I have a black cat.
Oh yeah, I had a black cat, but yeah, Hootis Kitty Cat. That's his name. But I have lots of cats. I think I'm up to 8.
Wow.
There's 5 barn cats, and the 2 kittens come in at night. And Boo Boo, who hates everybody. She hates everything. She hates kittens. This little thing hates kittens. And yes, she's only 5 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a good girl. But so 8 cats, 11 goats. I think it's 57 animals is what I'm
Wow.
up to. So,
Dang.
yeah.
I've got 2
I'd
puppies.
rather have just 2 puppies, though.
I also have a I have a gecko as well. 2
Oh,
puppies
you
and a
do
gecko.
have a gecko. Oh, wait a
She's-
minute. Mary. Okay, how do you say your name? Mariana? She would like a reading real quick. If you want to give her a just a general reading.
Sure, Mariana.
I'm sorry if it's Mariana. Thank you. I didn't want to slaughter your name. So we'll do a general reading for you real quick, and that'll be our last reading of the night, guys.
Okay.
Don't cry.
What was
Oh, that was a little wheel.
They're fighting.
Oh,
They're play fighting.
you still
Okay,
don't
Mary.
have me beat on animal numbers? Oh my gosh, Regina, girl, we got to talk.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, her house is awesome. Just saying, like so
All
cool.
right. Let's go
All
with
right.
the reading.
All right, Mariana. Okay, so our first one, I just did a 3-card general. This one's kind of, when I do general, I kind of do like a past, present, future. This one's kind of just that one. So we've got 9 of Wands. So this one is, wands are symbolic of the fire within, kind of the things that drive us, the things that we're passionate about. But this one kind of goes on the other side of it. In your past, there was a time where you were kind of battle drawn. You went through a lot. You have the scars to prove it. So you see he's kind of battered, and then there's these wands up here. They're the spoils of labor. So you've got the scars to prove that you've been through quite a bit in your life, and you've been dealing with a lot, unfortunately. But you have made it through, and you have survived. But as of now, you are working more on finding balance between your earth and your water side. So this is the 2 of cauldrons. Cauldrons are all about emotions. And so this one, I kind of like this one because it really looks at finding the balance between our emotional side and our earthly side, and how to find that balance and that groundingness. So right now you've been working more kind of on that spiritual aspect, because you've been, from the 9 of Wands, what tells me is you've been through hell, but right now you're finding ways to find your peace. You're finding ways to really find things that work for you and find what makes you feel grounded. And um, sometimes it means like finding kind of like a spiritual side. Sometimes it means even just finding time for yourself, because you never really had that very much as a kid or in your past. And so right now you're all focusing on you, and that is a great thing, because it really helps open your spirit. It helps open um your balance. So right now things are very balanced. Things are progressing well, and things are moving towards finding your balanced side. And so one of the possibilities for the future, like I see future as kind of like a tree. So as we're growing up, we have those really base general ideas about things, but then as we make decisions, as we go through our life, and all the branches come out. And so this is just one of the possible branches. um this is the Queen of Pentacles. She is the mothering side. She is the one who really is grounded. She's the one who cares about everything. She's the one who um is so grounded that it takes a lot to really rattle her. And this is kind of the ultimate, where you kind of want to be, where you're finding that peaceful side of you by being the grounded mother. So with this one, it's a possibility in your future, and it's a beautiful possibility, because um I think it really speaks to finding that calm, because she's out in nature. She's really just enjoying the being able to kind of reconnect. So um you've definitely been through a lot, but you are getting to a point where you are getting to that balanced state, balanced between your spiritual, your emotional, your grounded side. So keep it up, because
Wow.
you are working at it.
That's a beautiful reading. I love it. And
I like
if you
that one.
could read her messages, she said that she was going through divorce, and what you're saying is true. And so yeah, I love that. Yep. And she just said thank you. Yeah, it's
You're
hard for
welcome.
it to see because she's on her phone. It's hard to see the messages, guys. But that is, I love the readings. These readings are great. They're spot on. Emily, you're one of the best. So
Thank you.
so it's amazing. And I love that the fact that you're teaching all the way through the reading too, by showing the card and teaching the symbology, because it's very important. The symbology is very, very important.
Yeah,
So
it is.
thank you, everybody, for joining the show tonight. I hope you loved it. None of these readings were April Fool's jokes, guys. Those were spot on. And bye, Miles.
Gotta go save my husband from work.
Okay. You guys have a great week. Join us tomorrow night for another paranormal show where we bring you special cases and our experience. See you tomorrow night, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.